One, restlessness is not being lost. There is an important difference between being lost and being restless. Being lost means you have no direction, no sense of where to go. Restlessness, on the other hand, is a state of constant searching. You may have goals, you may even achieve them, but the feeling of peace and satisfaction never seems to stay. You move from one pursuit to another, hoping that the next achievement, the next relationship, or the next recognition will finally feel like enough. Yet each time, the sense of fulfillment slips away, leaving you in the same place as before. This cycle doesn't mean that something is wrong with you. It simply shows that meaning and purpose cannot be forced or captured by running after them. They cannot be held like objects. Instead, meaning has to settle on its own, like still water after movement. The more you chase it, the more it moves away. The more tightly you hold, the more it slips through your hands. True depth in life is not about constant striving, but about learning to pause, to let the mind be still.
Wow.
In that stillness, what you are looking for often begins to appear naturally. To the wisdom of stillness, Marcus Aurelius, one of history's most respected Stoic thinkers, reminds us that stillness is not weakness, but strength. He did not write his reflections to gain admiration or to prove himself to others. He wrote privately, for his own guidance, as a way to stay steady in the midst of responsibility and challenges. Even though he held immense power as emperor, he recognized that external success meant very little without inner calm. Stillness allows us to see life without unnecessary noise. When the mind slows down, we can distinguish between what truly matters and what is simply distraction. This is not about withdrawing from life or avoiding responsibility. It is about approaching each moment with clarity and balance. In a world that constantly encourages us to do more and achieve more, the practice of stillness becomes a way of regaining perspective. True strength lies not in how much control we have over others or external events, but in how steady we remain within ourselves. Stillness gives us space to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting hastily. It allows us to move through life with a sense of calm direction, grounded in what is essential and enduring. 3. The illusion of constant purpose many of us grow up with. The belief that life must always have a grand purpose. We are told that without a clear mission or constant pursuit, our lives somehow lack value. This idea can easily become a burden. It pushes us to chase one goal after another, hoping that the next achievement will finally provide lasting fulfillment. But often, this pursuit only creates more restlessness rather than peace. The truth is that meaning does not always appear through large and extraordinary efforts. Sometimes it is found in simple actions, being present with family, doing our work with sincerity, or appreciating quiet moments. When we tie our sense of worth to having a constant mission, we overlook these everyday experiences that hold their own depth. Restlessness often comes from fearing stillness, from being uncomfortable with silence or pauses in life. Yet, stillness is not emptiness. It is a space where clarity can grow. When we allow ourselves to step back from constant striving, we begin to see that meaning is not something to be endlessly chased. Instead, it is something that develops naturally. When we live with patience, presence, and acceptance of the moment, for meaning grows in quiet spaces. Many people believe that meaning is something to be found after long effort, as if it is a reward waiting at the end of a race. But meaning does not work that way. It does not appear only in major achievements or special events. Instead, it often grows in the smaller, quieter spaces of life, moments we usually overlook. It can be present in an ordinary walk in the sound of the wind, in a conversation with someone we care about, or in the simple act of breathing calmly. These moments may seem unimportant at first, but when we pay attention, they show us that life already holds value without constant striving, rather than adding more noise to our lives. We need to learn how to notice what is already here. Making life deeper does not mean chasing bigger experiences. It means bringing more awareness to the simple ones. When we allow silence and stillness, we begin to see meaning quietly taking shape. It is not loud, and it does not demand attention, yet it has a steady presence. Meaning grows naturally in the spaces where we stop trying to force it and simply allow ourselves to be. 5. Simplicity and the essential. The Stoics often taught that peace is not found by adding more to life, but by removing what is unnecessary. When we focus on fewer things, we begin to see what is truly essential. Much of our restlessness comes from trying to hold on to too many concerns at once: status, recognition, possessions, or endless ambitions. These pursuits can easily distract us from what really matters. Simplicity does not mean avoiding responsibility or giving up on growth. It means learning to see clearly and choosing what is worth our time and attention. When we let go of unnecessary distractions, life becomes lighter and more manageable. The essential things are often very simple: waking up each day, taking a breath, treating others with respect, and doing the task in front of us with care. This approach is not apathy but wisdom. It is about directing our energy toward what is within our control and letting go of what is not. By simplifying, we create space for calmness and clarity. In this space, life feels less overwhelming, and we discover that peace has been available all along, not in excess, but in the simplicity of the present moment. 6. Stillness. As the beginning, stillness is often misunderstood as an ending, as if it means stopping or giving up. In reality, stillness is the beginning of a clearer way of living. When we allow ourselves to pause, to sit quietly without rushing, something important happens. The noise of constant thoughts begins to soften. We are able to see ourselves more clearly. This quiet space is not about avoiding life. It is about meeting it directly, without distractions or unnecessary layers. When we stop chasing after the next achievement or the next answer, we discover that peace does not need to be created. It naturally appears when the mind settles. In that moment, we meet a deeper part of ourselves, the part that exists beyond roles, titles, or accomplishments. Stillness takes patience and courage because it asks us to sit with silence. But in that silence, clarity grows. We begin to realize that we do not need to prove our worth by constant striving. We do not need to race to keep up with others. By beginning with stillness, we build a foundation of calm strength that helps us move through life with steadiness, simplicity, and a deeper sense of peace.